Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we are diving into one of the biggest shifts the retail world has seen in, well, forever. For years, we all knew who was number one, but that's all changed. So let's get into the incredible story of how Amazon finally grabbed the crown, and maybe more importantly, how Walmart is fighting back in a way nobody saw coming.
All right, so let's just jump right in with a huge question. For more than a decade, the answer to this has been a total no-brainer. But based on the latest figures, that has all changed. So who is the new king of global sales?
And the answer is Amazon. They reported a mind-blowing $716.9 billion in annual revenue. I mean, that's a number that's almost impossible to wrap your head around, built on the back of their massive e-commerce and cloud computing empire.
But wait, look how close this was. Walmart came in at $713.2 billion. That margin is razor thin. We are not talking about some decisive victory here. This was basically a photo finish at the end of a decade-long marathon.
So what does this all mean? It means that after 13 long years, the retail crown officially belongs to someone new. And look, this isn't just some boring headline. This is the result of a massive change in how all of us shop, and it really kicks off a brand new chapter in the war for our wallets.
So the big question is, how on earth did we get here? To really understand this historic flip, you've got to look at the very DNA of these two giants, because let me tell you, they were built from totally different blueprints.
And this really breaks it down perfectly. Walmart is, and always has been, physical first. It built its entire empire on gigantic stores and super efficient supply chains. I mean, even today, 90% of its sales are tied to its brick-and-mortar locations. Amazon, though, a total digital native. It was literally born on the internet and built its entire world around e-commerce and the cloud. They basically came from opposite ends of the retail universe.
Right, and a shift this big doesn't just happen overnight. You go back a decade, to about 2015, and Walmart's dominance was just absolute. But as the entire world started shopping online more and more, Amazon's digital advantage went into overdrive. The result? Over the last 10 years, Amazon's revenue grew a whopping 10 times faster than Walmart's. Which brings us to early 2026, when they officially took the top spot.
But hold on. If you think that's the end of the story, that Walmart just rolled over, you'd be totally wrong. This isn't an obituary, not even close. This is actually the beginning of one of the most incredible comeback stories in modern business. Walmart has a plan.
And this is it. It's a very deliberate three-part counterattack. They're building what they call an omni-channel flywheel, using high-margin services to fund their low prices and launching an all-out offensive to win over wealthier shoppers. So let's actually break down what the heck all that means.
Okay, so first up, this omni-channel flywheel. And honestly, this is just brilliant. For years, people said Walmart's thousands of giant physical stores were their biggest weakness. Well, they're turning that perceived liability into their single greatest weapon. By using those stores as mini warehouses for online orders, they create this amazing cycle. Faster deliveries make for happier customers, who then buy more stuff online, which makes the whole store system even more efficient. It just feeds itself.
And you know what? It is absolutely working. Right now, Walmart's biggest gains in market share are coming from households pulling in over $100,000 a year. They're grabbing these shoppers with things like expedited delivery. And get this, they're fulfilling over a third of their online orders in less than 3 hours. They're even using AI chatbots, and people who use them are placing orders that are 35% bigger. Yeah, this is definitely not your parents' Walmart anymore.
And you don't have to take my word for it. Just listen to this quote from their own earnings release. Fast, convenient, and personalized. That's the new mission statement. This is a tech company now that just happens to be using its massive physical footprint to beat its digital rival at its own game.
All right, but this comeback story has another kind of secret layer to it. A hidden battlefield that most of us never even see, but it's worth billions and is incredibly profitable. And that is the war for advertising dollars.
Now just look at these growth rates for a second. In 2025, Amazon's already huge ad business grew by a very impressive 22%. But Walmart's? Their ad business grew by a staggering 46%. That is more than double the speed. The challenger is learning the game, and they're learning it fast.
Let's dig into the actual numbers here. Now, yes, it's true. Amazon's total ad revenue is way, way bigger than Walmart's, for now. But the really important number to watch is at the bottom. See, Amazon turns about 8.3% of its online sales into ad dollars. Walmart is only at 4.3%. That gap, well, that represents a huge runway for growth for Walmart. And the engine behind all this growth is something called Walmart Connect. Think of it as their version of sponsored product ads on Amazon. It is absolutely on fire, growing 41% in just the last quarter of 2025. This is where the fight for every ad dollar is really happening.
So this whole game is called retail media. It's basically when a retailer, like Walmart, turns its own website and app into a massive billboard. And because they know exactly what you buy, they can offer brands incredibly targeted ads. It's basically a high-margin goldmine that helps them pay for their price wars on things like milk and eggs.
Okay, so what's next? Where is all this headed? Well, as we look to the future, we can see these two titans are starting to take really different paths. And those paths are being shaped by what their CEOs are focused on and where they're placing their next big bets.
So you've got Amazon on one side, pushing super hard on AI, with their CEO even saying it'll mean a smaller workforce down the line. But then you have Walmart, and they're expanding their whole ecosystem. They bought the TV company Vizio so they can get into shoppable TV, literally turning your living room into a store. And at the same time, they're just showering their shareholders with cash, raising their dividend for the 53rd year in a row and launching a new $30 billion stock buyback.
And wow, these two quotes really spell out the difference in thinking, don't they? Amazon CEO Andy Jassy is talking about needing fewer people, which is all about internal efficiency. Meanwhile, Walmart's EVP, John David Rainey, is talking about dividends and capital returns. So one is focused inward, on making the machine run better, while the other is focused outward, on growing the ecosystem and rewarding its owners.
So at the end of the day, what this all really means is that we're way past the simple story of online versus offline. This is now about who can build the better, more integrated world for shoppers. As our TVs become storefronts and our local stores become these hyper-fast data hubs, the real question isn't just who sells the most stuff anymore. It's about who is actually building the future of how we all shop. And the battle for retail? Oh, it's far from over. You could say it's just getting really, really interesting.